Yo, what's up, everybody? So, welcome to the very first Ambious Records conversation with our artists. We just thought it's gonna be a good way to kind of get to know who's on Ambious Records, who is kind of releasing stuff, and who these people are. What up, Chris? What up, boy? What up, homies, size, all y'all people? Okay, so I'm gonna give Adam a shout out now. He's gonna be joining us for the chat. It's Polar Inc. He's got a new podcast coming up this Friday. He's got a remix EP coming up. Super cool stuff. DNA, what up, homies? Cool. Let me see where he's at. Let me call y'all's. A second. Okay. Where you at, man? Where you at? So give me 1 second and get in touch with this homie. Stress less, Levi. Come on, dog. Stress less, dog. Stress less, y'all. Please ask him when his new song that featured in Late A Spring mic will be coming out. I will do, homie. I got a bunch of questions for him on that. He actually was featured in Lane 8's mixtape. The man did some things. Alright, he'll be joining shortly. Ringo Savvy, what's up, homie? Looks like we have the whole team in here. Misha, okay, cool, man. I will ask him. Yeah, I think that song is called Pastel, if I'm not mistaken. Super cool track. Let me see where he's at. There you go. Way for everyone to get to know our artists, see the more personal side of things. I mean, as much as labels are just a platform to release music that we believe in, you know, the thing about Ambious is what we always felt is we'd rather connect with people, of course, good producers and producers who are pushing melodic music and the sound that we kind of dig, but we also feel that we prefer to work with people that we have a longer term kind of goal with. And you personally, you've released for the whole of the year, like you've been with us since pretty much, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So that's really cool to have you on board. So what I wanted to do is just jump into, you know, it's not going to be as formal as an interview, it's more a conversation with you. See
for sure.
A couple of your personal ideas, but just to break it in. How you doing, and you explain just a bit about who is Polar Inc. What is your kind of vibe, and yeah, just give people a little bit of detail about you.
For sure. No, well, thanks for having me. First off, it's cool to have a little, yeah, nice to just have a little chat and go through everything that's been going on. Yeah, so Polar Inc. was kind of like a project I started in school with. It was actually a second member of Polar Inc., believe it or not. We used to do that in school, yeah. And basically we'd all part of kind of the sideshow type vibe and grew up through that. You know, we had won like a couple of competitions, we played at Hardwell, and it kind of like just progressed.
Sideshow?
Yeah, I played loads of sideshow gigs.
Back in the day. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah. No, but it was like when I was like 18, literally just fresh out of school, or like actually during school.
Yeah.
And that was kind of our claim to fame back then, was like doing the whole sideshow thing. And then yeah, from there kind of just pumped the brakes on it. I took the alias on by myself, and then kind of went down this different venture, literally our duo venture that I did with James McPherson, and we kind of went into that, and that was like a completely different thing on the whole spectrum of kind of like, you know, Brazilian techno and that type of vibe.
Okay.
Um, and then in the last 3 years, I would say, I'd like built up so much music that was like melodically driven house music, how I like kind of understood house music should
Yeah.
go on a melodic basis, like kind of my interpretation.
Yeah.
And from there, we just built that straight into, I just started like doing that. And yeah, one of my friends would say was like kind of put me in touch with, or just said, listen, you should send this to Ambious, give it a shot and see what they think. And then I sent that on to you, and from there we've just you know, jumped on a couple different records, and that's been super dope.
Yeah. Who was that friend, by the way?
Emil de Beer, do you know Second Nature? I think Seb's actually
Yeah.
here.
Really, man.
Yeah.
He's a good
So
guy.
it
Very
was
good. So that's
exactly.
kind of the history, man. So you actually started out in a completely different sphere of Brazilian techno, and that was still under Polar Inc.
No, that was under Venture.
Oh yeah.
So that was with James like this. That's was we were like playing Discotopias and like Sweet Nothings and that type of vibe.
Yeah.
All kind of under this Brazilian sound that we were trying to like, you know, almost push in South Africa for like its initial phases.
Yeah. And so when it comes to like this is one thing that I've had to face quite a lot is like compartmentalizing my music. It's like I'm like super OCD when it comes to organization, so like it has to be subgenre based, like things like this. Was that kind of
Yeah.
the reasoning for Polar Inc., or did you just have Polar Inc. as a side project and you were like, hey, let me just go with this and see where that sound
Well,
takes
it
me?
yeah. Well, that was kind of like I like originally went on this whole, you know, I was just trying to find the sound. It was kind of like began off with this sort of like mouse trappy type, you know, hard hitting dead mouse type stuff, and then kind of evolved into a more of a chilled, melodic, you know, push on a more like cinematic in its own way.
Yeah,
That
for sure,
that I was
cinematic.
like then going, yeah. So that's kind of like what I wanted to do, and yeah, it kind of just grew into that and naturally just found its course in that way. And I will be quite like pedantic almost about, you know, making sure like I would never release dubstep or Polank, no, you know, or anything like
Would you
foreign, you
release
know, like
a step of any alias right now?
I don't think right now. I used to mess around with it, but it was never something that was it was purely for fun, you know.
Oh man, I'm guilty of that too. Back in the day, funnily enough, also used to play a side show in the alias called Riot Squad. I don't know if we probably bumped into each other. To be honest, probably, man. One of those like
Most
blackout nights.
likely.
Yeah.
It, yeah,
Dude,
shit got crazy there. That was the
it's a shout out to all the homies, Sebastian Moriarty, what up, my dude? Alex Murray again. There's a lot of cool people who's joined the chat. Schaefer back in Sideshow. I remember, bro. I seen you there. Got a question. Misha K. Gorov. Misha K. Gorov. Do you have to know how to play piano to make good music? I'm gonna hit you with that one. What do you think about that?
Is that do you know do you need to know how to play piano to make good music?
That's the question, yeah.
Absolutely not, in my opinion.
Straight up.
Um, yeah, no, I don't believe that at all. Like I can't play the piano. I mean, I can, you know, I can sort of frame some chords together, but in my opinion, it's more about music theory than anything than actually knowing how to play the piano. Sure, you've got to know like the bass structure and all of that type of stuff, but just understanding it, it's kind of like when the penny drops, how keys work and scales and all of that. You kind of far more, you know, that's the armory you need in order to
Yeah,
kind of get out there. So I would not go and teach myself classical piano before I went into starting to make, you know, a melodic track.
yeah. I mean, that's like the perfectionist route. It's like, shit, man. I'm gonna make a deep house track. Let me just sign up for music theory grade one. Like, get my shit in a
Yeah,
row.
exactly.
To be honest, though, knowing that stuff does help. But shit, bro, there's so many artists out there right now who I don't think have ever even looked. I don't even think they know how to read sheet music or I mean, a lot of
Yeah,
people that, like you mentioned, Mousetrap. Mouse doesn't even use a MIDI keyboard, and he uses his keyboard and his mouse like a standard keyboard. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so I totally agree with you there. Um, so your Leica EP that just came out recently. You got quite a few stuff coming out, coming
Yeah.
up on Ambious. You got your podcast this week. You got your remix EP, which is scheduled to be the next remix EP. Super cool artist.
Nice.
How are you feeling about that?
Yeah. I'm super pumped. It's so interesting when people take your work and just put their own, like reimagine it and put their own twist on it. So I
Yeah,
really like that. It's
yeah. Do you
definitely
know?
something, yeah.
Have we told you all of the artists involved in that?
I actually haven't. I think I heard one of the tracks briefly, but I can't remember the name for like I think you sent me one link, but I actually haven't dived into all of them at all.
Yeah. Well, we've got Ivan Turanjanin, who's on a remix for that, kind of like a non-4/4 beat. Also, just what's up to Bella Maria, just joined.
Yes, what's
R&B
up,
soul,
brother?
what up, what up? Um, so, so we got Ivan Turanjanin, really cool remix. He's on, it's called Soft Touch.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of a different alias. We got the Cavemen, early signings. We've got Ringo Savvy. Um,
Yes.
Let me check this out. Actually, the package is looking super, super dope, man, at the moment. So I think definitely going to bring that up. I just want to check I think there might be one more track in here. Yeah, Soft Touch, Ringo Savvy. We got that. Yeah, so it's the Caveman, Soft Touch, and Ringo Savvy. So super, super
Awesome.
cool combination. I'm going to send that to you, actually. We're going to be getting that sorted soon.
Yeah,
How?
I need to hear that.
Yeah, we haven't sent it to you, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna get it to you, man. You're gonna be the first, of course. So when it comes to writing a track, um, what is your kind of process? Do you have a process even?
I'm like, yeah, like I full on always begin with some sort of melodic structure. That's just for me. I generally will find a key that I'm interested, normally off like, say for instance, I'm listening to a track on YouTube or SoundCloud or wherever it is, and I'll be like, whoa, that's a deep key, or that's a cool sentimental sound, whatever it is, and then kind of like look up the key and then go in through that, and then start building a chord progression through that. So it kind of would be an influence of something else. And,
Yeah,
then I've got my trusty piano that I would use in Ableton, not a real piano misher. And literally from there create some sort of, like chords or whatever it is using a synth and kind of push on from there. It's kind of the beginning where I try and get
yeah.
the feel for it. It's generally, I never really start with a drum beat or anything in that sense.
So you kind of, I mean, I think you can actually hear that in your music. I don't know why I feel that, but I think a lot of groove-based guys who are writing more kind of music where it kind of like sits on the tonic a lot. It's all about the groove. I think a lot of that music is generally started, and I mean, this is a generalization, obviously, but a lot of the time they start with a drum beat and they kind of get those footings in the groove, and then the melody is not a second thought, but it's like it's surrounding the groove. Where I feel a lot of melodic artists, such as yourself, guys like Lane 8, local dudes, DNA, guys like that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of artists who have a melodic edge to them or sway a lot to the melodic side start with the melodics. Do you find it makes writing the track easier that way, or have you ever started a track with the drums?
I have before. If I'm like going down some like super Foley type vibe where I want to make like the drum beat super dope.
Yeah.
But like if that, it's so like few and far in between. Like it really isn't common for me. I'm always kind of starting with the melodic structure, which is, just beginning with like some simple chords.
Yeah. No, fair enough. So we got Misha again. The Idean Lane 8 Spring Mix. What's that called? Pastel?
Yes, Pastel, yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about that, how that came about, like how you got featured?
I sent it to Daniel Leonard, and he like I just sent it through to him, and then he responded. He was like, "Oh, hey man, the like chord structure of the song's really dope. I enjoy that." And it's kind of a weird take. It's not, nothing I'd really done before when I'd like made you know, like started my musical, you know, like position almost. Like I'd
Yeah.
normally go for like a general structure where this was like quick and it was just something that I made because it was happy, you know, and it was like quick and easy. So I made that. It's got like quite a, not to rev myself here, but like an infectious little touch on it, which is super happy.
Yeah,
And that
you're
kind
allowed to say that, man. Get over it.
and from there, yeah, from there I sent it to him, and then he just responded saying this is cool. And then a couple of weeks later, he just responded saying, "Hey man, I featured the track in your mix, in my new mix. Hope you enjoy." So that was kind of dope, and we still chatting today, which is cool.
Sick. So you didn't actually go about it like trying to submit for the label and then him turning around and being like, he didn't say anything about that. It was more like, yo, dude, here's the track.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. He kind of then went on to like the different TNH, maybe some possibilities here and there. So
Hey,
that was kind of cool from his side, yeah. Which is like probably my number one label, well, like dream label in terms
totally,
of, you know, that, a Junior Deep, that type of vibe. So,
totally, man. Just want to shout out new
yeah.
people: Kimetsu, Frenzy, Dale Music, Grimehouse, my man. Um, Sebastian Moriarty. I was with him. We cried.
Yeah, yeah, he was. That was funny.
I would totally cry, man. I mean, that's huge stuff. I mean, I don't know how. I wish it translated to like streams or something like directly to you, like the Spotify kind of platform. I guess in some ways it does. Is it
Yeah.
out yet, that track?
No, no, it's still sitting there in limbo. So I'm trying to get a couple like trying to get a B-side to it, trying to get like an EP built around it. But
Yeah.
that's still sort of in the works and discussions and all of that. So, you know, Pastel is like it was just a thing that went, you know, that kind of did well in its own way, and I really didn't expect it to do that well. It was kind
Yeah.
of like, I know it's so cheesy, people say you had fun making music, but that was like really one of those songs. So
Yeah. Oh,
that was a
man.
goodie.
Did it take long to finish that track?
It's semi like I like left it for a while and then came back to it.
One of
The
those.
track kind of, yeah, it's kind of came back to like me remembering about the sound that I used, this kind of like Juno pluck that was kind of used on it, and that kind of was like, okay, cool. Holy shit, you've got past that pastel track. It was called Pulse 57 then or whatever, but I went and yeah, shoved back on. Yeah, literally like.
So, Ben and Maria was on here earlier, and I actually just wanted to touch on that because your track, Cinematic Summer, that was super cool. I mean, we released that. For me, that
Yeah,
was one of my favorite tracks that you've released as the last few releases. I mean, obviously, it's a huge
so
track, vocal, huge radio potential, and it was chosen for the Rage official track. Am I right?
yeah. It
Anything else?
was
It was for a few other things.
it was done with that. Like I don't know why that song was like pushed on so many after movies for some reason. I don't know. Like Billy's Beach used it, Corona Sunsets used it. Um, what's as you said, your Rage used it, and then a couple different other videos used it. So I think it like had that emotional like feel, but also you know like had the drop with the right sort of vibe to it. You know,
Yeah.
it was almost I wanted the music to really match what the you know what the song was called, and it did in that sense. I feel that's quite important.
Totally, man. Did you come up with the lyrics, or did you kind of give Bella the free rein to do that?
I think if my memory serves me well, I said to Bella, I want to call it Cinematic Summer. That's like what it had been at the beginning. And then from there, Bella just built the lyrics around that, which are like such awesome lyrics as well. It like
Yeah,
completely, it worked too well from the beginning.
yeah. Um, so like, how did that even come about? Like, did you know her before? Did you kind of reach out, or did she reach out to you? What is your kind of process when it comes to getting new vocalists involved?
It was kind of like in that case, it was one of my mate's brother's girlfriends at that time was Bella. So,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I heard one of her, she had done, I don't think it was a Billie Eilish, it was like Oh, it was a Lord. It was Lord. That was it. She had done a
Ah,
Lord cover.
okay.
And then I heard that. You must go check out her YouTube as well. She's got like a lot of cool covers and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And her own originals. And from that, I was like, whoa, this, her voice is amazing. We need to do something with this. And
Yeah.
then we just got chatting, and fortunately Bella's got like a great home setup where she can record and get all the stuff done. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
Totally. I mean, that makes
yeah,
a major difference. Like paying for recording studios, waiting for like, if it's just good to go, that I think helps the whole process. I mean, how long did she take to get the vocal stuff?
that was like relatively quick. I mean, it's quite a while ago, but it was like 3 or 4 days, and then we were done. It was like wrapped up
I love that,
so
man.
quickly.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
if you know what the scope of what a vocal does to a track, and it takes like 3 or 4 days, which is probably like one day recording, 2 to 3 days writing lyrics, and then send it back to you and you mix it. You mix it and master it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's super powerful, man. I love that part of the process when something like changes the entire track. What's like getting on a collab? You send the dude your stems, and in 2 days they send back like the most fire edition. You're like, shit, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, exactly. It's that like collaborative like magic that just happens.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Talking of collabs, any collabs in the works? Anything you've been kind of pondering, or any artists you'd like to work on or work with?
I'd kind of me and Seb, who was messing around in the comments there. Yeah. I think the reason he was over the other day and we heard that Lane 8 feature was because we were working on a new track. So he's kind of pushing his new alias. It's a lot more melodic and separate from the Second Nature vibe.
Yeah.
And that had kind of like, we were kind of working on something new, which is still in the works, and we're going to wrap that guy up. I promise, Seb, we're going to do it. We're
Yeah.
going to do
Yeah,
it.
I would be interested to hear that, man. Because I remember Seth actually chatted to me. I think it was at the Resistance pre-party, um,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, I'm starting something new. So I'm super keen, man. I'm super keen to check that out. Send me
Yeah.
some fire, bro. Send me some fire. Get an EP of you
Yeah,
guys.
we'll send you some links, bro. It's coming, it's coming. It's
Too hard to handle. So, just a shout out to Tieo, upcoming artist who just joined. He's upcoming on Ambious Records, super huge artist, big guy. And yeah, welcome to the live stream, man. I'm excited to have you on Ambious. A few other people, Joey, John T. Bam,
Yo, what's
Weezy,
up, Bam? What's up, Ant?
Anthony
A
Reed.
Wheezy.
What's up, Joey, Dashi? Yeah, send me some fire, man. Send me some fire. Um, all right, dude. So, the ride. Talk to me about the ride, bro. That's a big track. Got a music video. How did that come about?
That was like, oh, the ride was completely. I've got this friend, went to school with DC, and basically he had just been chatting to me about like doing some potential work for a music video with, like using one of my songs. He'd also spoken about doing some like soundtracky stuff.
Yeah,
And I kind of sent him like, I think it was like 5 or 6 different tracks, and I was just like, here's what I've been working on, and it's kind of super random, unmixed, like don't judge me, but here's some
I love
stuff,
it.
yeah.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
the producer, bro. Don't judge me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of creatives are kind of in that field, but regardless, as a producer, you're always just like, bro, don't you could say
Yeah.
anything about that mix, bro. Smart.
Yeah. Yeah. I was literally like, this is a private link. Don't you fucking dare. Like, but
Check me out the stats. Who's been playing this, man? Yeah.
yeah, literally. And the ride was one of them. Like the ride was there, and I sent that. I think one of his directum guys he works with kind of sent it off to. He had a listen, and he was like, "I love the ride. I'd love to do a
Yeah.
music video. I've got a great idea."
Yeah.
From False Flag Productions. Shout out to them, which they're great.
I know.
Um, and yeah, that was kind of the vibe. And then we just shot the music video. That was also done super quickly. I remember like I hadn't even finished the ride, and so I had to just wrap it up, and then we went on and shot this video. I think I actually finished the song only after we had shot the video, so it was kind of just kind
So
of a
what, you
weird
just
one. But
used like, did you have to keep the arrangement the same? I guess you would have to because they would have the arrangement as it was, right?
yeah, like it was all the same. I mean, the song was generally, I think it's 4 minutes 20, so that was my fluke.
420.
That was all my fluke.
Was that
Um,
planned 420?
I I I don't think so. I mean, we might have cut out 1 second of fade out at the end just to make sure, but that
Yeah.
was literally was just done. Yeah, coincidence.
Shout out to Corbus and Wolfson joining in. Good to
What
see you.
up, Quibby?
Um, and Chanel, how's it going? Thanks for joining. So that's cool, dude, because a lot of people these days, when it comes to music videos, are just like, yeah, I don't need a music video. Like the world's kind of changing, but I still feel like having a music video. Look, it depends how much it's going to cost you. I think that's the most
Yeah,
important. If a
exactly.
music video costs you like 50K and you're gonna go broke and you can't pay rent and like your mates hate you because you've been lending money, I think maybe that's
Yeah.
not the best. But
No, no.
like it came about to you. It was a natural thing. This is your homie. He offered to do a music video for you. I'm taking it was free or partially cheaper than it would
Yeah,
usually.
no, it was a very fucking good deal. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. So it was great. Yeah. No, it was
Carson,
awesome.
what up, dog? My man. Um, that's super cool, bro. I'm stoked about it. I dig that video. It's very cool. It was actually shot in that, like, there was a bit of a shot in that abandoned highway in Cape Town, right?
Yeah, the one that kind of like yeah, it's a little bit of it was shot there, a little bit was shot like up Table Mountain, sort of on like a side road, and then
Yeah.
one above, just like Nelson Mandela Boulevard coming in.
Table
Um,
Mountain, you mean like where you got to the cable car?
yeah, yeah, it's kind of like before then. If you keep going like past that entrance, you can keep driving. It's kind
Yeah.
of like turns into a bit of a running route, and it was kind
Shit,
of done
bro.
there.
Yeah. That's a good spot, man. Just get hella high
Yeah,
up there. Well, that was a good spot,
exactly,
man. People will know. You know that spot. Um,
exactly.
Dude, getting a bit nerdy in some production vibes. Favorite plugin?
Yes.
I mean, what have you been into?
What production wise? What have we been doing?
Yeah, no, production plugin wise, what's your favorite plugin at the moment?
Oh, at the moment, weirdly enough, like it's as generic as it sounds. Like hitting Serum is obviously the juice. I love Serum. It's great. In certain elements and stuff. But
Yeah,
to be honest, at the moment, I'm trying to like be as cool as like, or like try and like get on the whole analog vibe in its own sense. I'm trying to like kind of build in different elements that come from, like recorded in old pianos and
yeah,
Junos and Prophets and that type of stuff. It's like, I feel like it's got, I've kind of explored the digital landscape of a lot of doors and, a lot of different plugins. So
yeah,
just jumping on something like that was kind of cool, especially recently. And I'm kind of like stuck on that with certain leads and harmonies and that sort of vibe. So it's kind of been nice. So
yeah.
I do touch on. I mean, I'm still like I throw a bit of massive in there now and then. Um,
You
literally, I
gotta
feel
have
like
some. I actually use that.
exactly.
That's the only thing I use for massive is the stuff, bro. That's like underlying all my bass lines. I just cut my
It's
bass at one,
good.
have the massive sine waves. I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's so
it's
damn easy.
good.
And it's just a preset, bam, bam, sub, and that's all I use, bro. But so the serum, a bit of massive contact, you were saying as well, or
Contact, yes, for sure. Like I originally was using quite a bit of contact, specifically the piano, and
yeah,
then
is it
the
like
piano,
the?
Grandeur was,
I mean, there's a few like the Grandeur, the Maverick, the Alicia's Keys. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Alicia's
yeah.
Keys.
Well, the Grandeur was
That's cool.
the
But that's cool.
the Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely like the grandeur with the right processing can be fun. It's quite
Grandeur.
clean.
Do you use like the
Yeah.
presets on the contact thing, or you just add your own reverb and like just send it all?
Yeah, no, I keep it kind of all dry and then I'll process after.
Yeah, that's one thing I found that kind of onboard reverb on the contact stuff pretty weak. So I just like
Mm.
the up standard, open that up, and then I'll send put like 20,000 kgs of a dotted eighth note of ping pong delay. This is getting like super nerdy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No,
But that's, I promise you, like uh, dotted eighth notes, ping pong delays. It might seem like something that is just so trivial, bro. That is progressive house. That is progressive house. I'm telling you.
that is pretty. Yeah, no, it's true. Like for me, like especially with reverbs, like I'll touch on like I've got my reverb that I know that if I put it on something, it's an Ableton stock reverb. But if I throw it on something, I know I can turn like a grumpy old piano into something sounding more like heavenly and delicious.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of my like go-to. It's almost a bad habit because I love just dropping that reverb on
But I think
like
it's also good, man, because that's like in some ways defines your sound, you know?
exactly. It's that kind of signature aspect to it.
Yeah, totally, man. Shout out to the
Yeah.
village for joining. What's up? Is Seb Moriarty remixing your track? Looks like sounds good, man.
Yeah,
I would love to hear that.
he remixed The Ride. You must check it out. Just dropped, which is cool.
Ah, epic,
Um,
man. I would love to hear that because they're both featuring Bella, right?
exactly. So The Ride's got Bella in as well. Yeah. So that's the 3 tracks we've done together. We've still got like 2 unreleased ones, but yeah, I'm still tweaking those.
Okay, so those are going to be kind of released as a package. Because I mean, the ride's already out, or was that like the single for the EP?
So the ride just came. The ride was like was just a single, and then we've just kind of done a remix EP on the back of it with Seb and Mario. I mean Seb and Hartley is another
Seven.
Seb and Moriarty. Yeah, Seb and Hartley. Which also let's go check out the Hartley remix. Is also very dope. Kind of
Oh my god.
a nice
Um,
a nice progressive aspect. Yeah.
So, I actually noticed that the ride got featured in a bunch of editorial playlists. How did that come about, and how do you actually, what was your process in approaching Spotify or approaching these editorial playlists?
Well, like I think I learned that lesson. Like as soon as always give yourself time to make sure that the release is coming out and it's going to be added to the right place. Especially
Yeah,
with the pitching tool on Spotify. Like always make sure that the music's out. Or it's like I mean, you guys are great with it. You like the music's ready to go a month, even longer before, so you can pitch it and make sure that that pitch is hitting the right, going to the right people. In
yeah,
that term as well, I would just make sure that like, I mean, I follow up on these things. Like if I played a Corona Sunsets, and like one of my tracks, I think it was it was Sani on the Ambious release. Like
yeah,
that got featured in the Chasing Sunsets playlist, which is a great playlist,
yeah,
um,
sweet.
and contributes like a lot of plays. So that's kind of the making sure that your music's in the right space, just by asking is also great. So, and I mean, like, you'll find so many more, or people find so many more, like, fans that way.
Yeah.
Um,
So you basically just pitched it to the Spotify playlist, like, when it gives you, hey, your music's coming out soon, and then it just gives you the opportunity to submit it, and you did that, and you got featured in 3 different playlists.
yeah, that was completely, the ride was, like, bare minimum. I just literally threw it on there and then went and, pitched it to different playlists. And, I mean, not different playlists, just pitched it to Spotify and, like, trying to find where they could add it. And,
Yeah.
yeah, it got a couple different ads.
That's epic. And you didn't like go through their playlists, like they tell you which playlist do you want to add it to. You don't like click like every single one, man.
Uh, no. I kind of just that one was very simple. I kind of threw it in there. I was very focused on the music video at that stage, trying to get that to work. So
Yeah.
so that was kind of the core thing I was trying to push at that stage. But I mean,
Yeah.
if the track got traction on that it was great.
Yeah. Sup, size. Size tuning in.
Besides, what's up?
Sup, Nigel. What up, dog? Um, all right, man. Going a bit more personal here. What is your favorite food at the moment? What are you into? What's the coronavirus got you doing at the moment?
Favorite food?
Yeah, man. Dig
Sure,
deep,
we
bro.
had like, yeah, I think we had like a fucking killer beef Wellington the other day.
You
I've
cook
been
yourself?
home. No, no, God no. Um, I yeah, I went back home. I literally got back today to my apartment, but I was back in Somerset West, at the family house, yeah. And yo, I've been treated for the last 5 weeks. So just do like
Bro,
home
family
cooking.
house. Dude, that's where it's at, bro. People that think, dude, you gotta move back home at least 3 times in your life. Meatless Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, yeah,
Are you meatless, eh? Or is
yeah.
is that
I've been dabbling for quite a while now. I mean, it actually came about randomly, man. I was in Vietnam and I saw a cooked dog, and I was like, all right,
oh
all
fuck.
right, that's rude. And then we got spring rolls, and they just said meat, and I was like, nah, bro.
uh
I don't know if I can
uh
trust this. So like a weird feeling started, and I kind of been dabbling on and off since then. But it's pretty easy in Berlin because meat's really expensive, and also I'm just like, I don't know. It's just I think it's just a habit now.
Yeah, well that's dope though. It's just like go down it like it's weird how those things like try to like begin, you know? And
Yeah,
like yeah, stick with it, obviously. If it's something that makes you feel better and you enjoy it, then fuck yeah, like that's cool.
yeah, totally, bro. So okay, advice for upcoming artists. What would you say if you were to go back and you're a young blood starting out producing? What would you say is like the crux of what you would love to have known back in the day?
Um like back in the day, um like it's almost like music is kind of simple if you wrap your head around it. So as soon as you start thinking about like, I would kind of try and position myself to be like, those are drums, these are like lead elements, these are chords, this is atmospheric elements, and like kind of blend that together. But for me, I would literally just go back to that music thing and just learning keys and scales and knowing that I can Google what is E minor and the keys will pop up and I can then go from there and start building onto that. I mean, I don't know any keys out of my head, bar C and D, I guess. But you literally go back and that's where you can build from. And I guess it's once you've got that, you can feel the rest. You can tell if something's out of key. You can tell if something's well, generally, but you can tell if
Yeah,
something's not working. And as soon as the progression starts to work, then it's you're onto something.
yeah. I think you mentioned something quite important, especially for melodic producers. As much as we can do it by ear, which is a huge thing. It's like you can do a lot by ear, but understanding how to Google uh, E minor or even knowing what E minor is, go to your favorite track that you like really dig and you want to give a similar feel. Find out what key they're doing. I mean, Beatport has the key right there, and
Literally, yeah.
just write a track in that key. That's super valuable advice, man. That's really good. And finally, any new music coming up? I mean, we touched on this a little bit, but do you have anything that we can look forward to in the next few months? How's your production schedule looking?
Well, like, I mean, now was a great time, so I like jumped on as much as I could, almost in that sphere. Like, I went on to like try and make super deep melodic stuff that was
Yeah,
kind of, no, like, not even drops or whatever, just kind of stuff to keep me entertained, and from there, like, I've also worked on some like B-sides for Pastel,
yeah,
some, just kind of an EP around that I've been trying to build, which isn't quite yet done, but I've like, I've tried to like reference the track as something to use, and that's now like, I think I'm almost there. So it's kind of been down that avenue of trying to produce something that's cool and that's going to work.
yeah,
So that's kind of the sound I'm going for. Not trying to be. I mean, I've always kind of tried to be, like, oh, let's make it hit hard, like hit super hard and hit different.
Fucking bangers.
You know, like, yeah, exactly, make bangers, which I'm kind of over now. I just want to I want to feel it, you know, and like make sure that don't get me wrong, I want the bangers, but it's like
Yeah,
they must work within the structure.
yeah.
Like it must still go off on a dance floor, but it needs to be, you know, sentimental in a sense, and like you must feel it as well as,
Yeah.
um,
I think that's super important. You know, a lot of people forget, and this is something that took me a while to kind of figure out. It's like you're writing dance music, man. What is the point of dance music? It's
yeah,
to make you dance, bro. The name says it all.
yeah,
You know.
exactly,
Um, so
exactly.
I think at the same time as we want to kind of like kind of get all technical and get like, yo, I'm the best producer in the world. Check out my lead, bro. Check out my compression.
Yeah.
Time, the intention of our music, especially house music, progressive house even, is it's not just to make people sad on the dance floor, bro. You don't want people crying every drop.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Which is actually, to be fair, like, bro, when I started playing progressive house, I would play like the saddest sets, and I was like, what the fuck are people dancing, man? I was like, is there no
Yeah.
music? And then I was like, shit, dude, maybe the tone of the stuff I was playing was too damn sad. People don't want to just
Yeah.
cry on the dance floor all day.
Exactly, yeah. It's a fine balance between like, you know, like pushing people to dance as well as making sure that it's got the right, you know, mood behind it. So it's just making sure that that works, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously everyone like you, me, we all have to learn that the hard way.
Empty
So
dance floors are freaking era, bro.
exactly. Exact.
Shout out to
Exact.
Young Master Boots, Food
What
Dog.
up?
I don't know if you know Food Dog Adam. He's actually one of our longtime homies, and he's got some really dope tunes coming out on Ambious Records soon. So look out for that.
Dope. Keen to hear. I think I
Yeah,
saw a little something about that.
yeah. He did a live stream on on Sunday, and he's actually doing a live stream on Thursday this week. So he's going to be running through some of his productions there. Um,
Awesome.
my homie, thank you so much, bro, for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure and a lot of fun. I think this is the longest we've
For
ever
sure.
spoken in general, you and me.
In ever, bro. Yeah,
That's,
literally.
but dude,
And that,
yeah,
yeah, thank you for having me on the first one, bro. Big things.
dude, of
Excited
course,
to see
man.
how. Exactly. I'm sure this is gonna do wonders, bro.
I'm sure, man. And yeah, thanks for all the tips, bro. It's really interesting to see kind of like, you know, you meet one of our longest artists. So it's just interesting to hear your perspective. It's like the Spotify thing, how you come about writing tracks. And I think a lot of this stuff for other artists who sometimes get roadblocked or you know, they just don't have much inspiration, just hearing how people go about their stuff is sometimes helpful and helps me. So thank you,
For
man.
sure. Thank you for having me, bro. Awesome to
Um,
be.
where can people find you, man? What your links? What your links, bro? Shoot them up. Shoot them up, bro.
Well, fuck. I think like Facebook's Polar Inc. Music is the at, and then this is the IG is just Polar Inc. Twitter's also just Polar Inc.
Like,
Got those fucking handles, and
drop those. We're gonna be dropping in when we post this up tomorrow. We're gonna be dropping those handles, bro.
put them in the comments, bro.
Dropping.
And then yeah, SoundCloud's I'm just Polar Inc. there, I guess. I think it's yeah, it should just be Polar Inc. I always like bitly that link, so I'm not too sure, but you'll find it, you know. I don't think there's many Polar Incs running
I don't
around.
think, bro. I don't think there's a lot of polar links. And that's something that used to confuse me. It's like polar link, full stop.
Yeah, don't forget that dot, bro.
Don't forget. Or is that in just like in the like the name on Facebook and stuff?
Yeah, but not in the handles. I don't think you can do that.
I don't think so.
No.
Ending up the game.
Uh,
Putting that full stop, my friend.
exactly. Don't forget.
Well, man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. We're gonna drop this in our stories, and we're gonna drop it in our Instas tomorrow, our IGTV, or whenever Levi gets to it. Yeah, Doug. Hier bei kids, bro.
Yo.
Cool, man.
It is, bro.
Take
Cool.
it easy, and we shall hopefully be back on this again sometime soon. We're going to be doing this every Tuesday, so next week we're going to be back live 6 p.m. Thank you so much, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man.